Hello, my name is Isaac DeLong and this is my informative presentation. For many years, the Red Cross was the leading organization for worldwide healthcare. During World War II, they assisted those in need, but were quiet about situations they had first-hand knowledge about, such as the Holocaust. If this event occurred today, the technological power we hold within our hands would make the notion of silence impossible. We as a community wouldn't allow it. After I become a doctor for the U.S. Army and retire, it is my intention to join Doctors Without Borders because of these policies against silence. This topic interests me greatly, so I chose to do research on Doctors Without Borders' unique principles, their history, and their function in my presentation. I will inform you about the history of Doctors Without Borders, how they function during a natural or man-made disaster, and principles that make Doctors Without Borders unique and important. I will begin with their history. In 1971, a doctor who worked within the Red Cross named Kushner took part in providing assistance to Biafrans trapped by a Nigerian blockade during the country's civil war. While there, he witnessed what he felt was a genocide of a people and was frustrated with the silence that Red Cross maintained about these atrocities. Later that year, he left and formed Doctors Without Borders with a man named Boral, so as to keep from this silence and speak out about those atrocities. At the end of that decade, the numbers grew to around 150 volunteers. They assisted in places like the Honduras, Vietnam, and Nicaragua. They even assisted during the Vietnamese boat crisis in Malaysia. In the 80s, they expanded and their numbers grew. Eventually, Doctors Without Borders staff outnumbered physicians by 60%. With this expansion, innovation followed, with the variation of kits for quick and easy use. These kits met needs like medicine, shelter, and water purification. Today, Doctors Without Borders has expanded across 80 countries and has offices in many of those. In addition to the history of Doctors Without Borders, I will speak about the principles Doctors Without Borders maintains. The core of what Doctors Without Borders represents is found within their unique principles. I will be telling you about 3 of those principles. Their principles of independence, so as to keep free from bureaucracy and corruption, impartiality towards whomever needs assistance, and neutrality when pertaining to a war zone with two or multiple sides. The principles of independence ensures that no government has the power to control or influence their ambitions and goals. Furthermore, to this, their impartiality ensures that no matter what and no matter who they are, Doctors Without Borders will assist those in need. Finally, Doctors Without Borders neutrality ensures that no matter the situation, they take no sides and hold the goal of assisting those in need. This allows for government and countries who would otherwise refuse their help feel secure in knowing their political views were mute when met with the necessity to help others. Furthermore, I will speak about how Doctors Without Borders functions when responding to disasters around the world. Using the funds they receive via donation from the general public, Doctors Without Borders manufactures medical, shelter, and other forms of supplies, and funds warehouses that store those supplies for the primary use of caregiving. When a natural or man-made disaster occurs, there are many dangers for those fleeing from said disasters. These dangers include diseases due to lack of proper water source, overcrowding, injury, non-vaccinated persons, or previous infection prior to the disaster. In addition, malnutrition due to a lack of proper food sources and sicknesses, as well as a lack of shelter, are other issues that follow in suit when met with man-made or natural disasters. Specific peoples who are in most danger include children, 5 years or younger, pregnant women, the elderly, and the sick. Doctors Without Borders supplies their offices and camps around the world and quickly distributes these resources to ensure that those directly affected by these disasters and those in need of immediate care are taken care of and protected. In all, this is how Doctors Without Borders approaches these disasters. In summary, Doctors Without Borders is an organization formed with the ambition to speak out when met with atrocities and to help those in need no matter what, with impartiality towards all who need their assistance, and to help those in need no matter what. They do this mostly through donations from the general public, and this allows Doctors Without Borders to distribute and assist those in need after man-made or natural disasters. We often take things for granted as members of a country who often lack the need for the assistance that Doctors Without Borders offers. But for those around the world who live in countries ravaged by war, this organization is a godsend, and without them, many lives would have simply ended.